always a happy medium between, being tough and, being aggressive and, staying focused mentally. And we toe that line. Well, we've got taught from the best, Anthony Grant, Coach Grant. He just like, he has that in practice. We've been in practice where things have gotten a little aggressive, and he knew exactly where the line is. So we just came in today and did our best to, keep focused on the goal at all times, which was to win the game.
Shane, anything on that too? Just the way you guys were able to kind of keep even keeled and in the face of kind of trying to rile you up a little bit.
Yeah, like Dirk said, we like in practice couple times, things got chippy and coach, drew the line. So I feel like today we just played as a team. We didn't care what they were saying because at the end of the day we knew we was going to win the game. So yeah, we was just focusing on winning the game and shutting them up with the scoreboard.
Did you kind of expect that? A team that had lost 4 straight, a little bit desperate, try to get in your heads a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, coach told us that they coming off losing 4 in a row, and we was trying to make it our goal not to be the team to break their losing streak. So yeah.
Were they talking a lot other than fouling?
Oh yeah, they was doing pretty much both a lot. So yeah, one dude came in our huddle. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Defensively, what did you think of your performance? I mean, you guys really, kept them down the whole game, didn't let them make a serious run.
Yeah, they're a big time offensive team. Kudos to them. They can score the ball at a really, really high clip. So, going in, we just have locked in all week on figuring out what we were going to do defensively, and we kind of, we did what we needed to do.
Back-to-back alley-oops there in the first half. I think the second one was maybe a layup, but
Yeah.
Exciting. I mean, that really gets the team going, right? I mean, that kind of helped you guys gain momentum in the first half.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, caught a pass from him, caught a pass from Key. I feel like Key could have dunked one, but he wanted to assist. So yeah, I gave him assist, and Dirk as well too. I feel like he could have finished, but they see me running the lane. They just gave me the ball. So yeah.
Jordan, after the first few games, are you getting the impression this team is starting to improve? Even taking even bigger strides each and every week, each game.
Yeah, we have a really mature team. We got some old guys that have great leadership in different ways, and we've just gotten exponentially better these last couple of weeks. You can see it in practice, you can see it in the games, and we're not going to plateau. We're going to keep rising. So I'm just excited to see what the ceiling looks like for this team.
Now 1-1 in the Chapel Blues. What do you guys think about this coming?
1-1, 1-1's all right. We want to be 2-0, but we do our best in these jerseys because we know everybody loves it. But it was a great crowd today. We saw a lot of blue out there, so if we could pack that arena with blue every home game, like everybody does, it's hard for us to lose here.
Shane, you heard all that talking out there, and you're kind of amazing. What's the best thing you heard tonight?
The best thing I heard?
Or the worst. Yeah, just the thing that sticks in your mind.
I mean, I ain't really remember what they were saying. They were just talking a whole bunch of chit chat. So yeah, I don't really remember.
Both of you guys, it's a stretch of 3 games in 8 days coming off the win on Saturday, and you got one more game to look forward to this Saturday. What's the mindset in terms of making sure you guys stay 100%? You don't get too fatigued before you go on the break.
I mean, y'all, we just said in the locker room, we know break coming up, so we just gotta not focus on going home. We gotta focus on getting a win first and then go home. So yeah, just getting right back to practice, tomorrow or the next day, then just locking into what Liberty got, and then we gotta focus on how to guard them and attack them, and then take care of business on Saturday.
Jordan, you think you guys' pressure surprised them a little bit?
Maybe. I mean, I would think that you probably see it on film. We steal the ball at an epic rate, so I think you probably see that on film. Do I think it surprised them? I think it's hard to prepare for something with the scout team when you have Deshane and Key and Vaughn on the court in the real game. I don't think you can have a scout team that's that aggressive. So I think it's probably pretty hard to prepare for that.
You guys practice with the new guy, Sean, yet?
Yeah, it's tough because right now we're focusing on games, so we're doing more scout stuff. But he's been a part of scout, and he's been really helping us. playing the point right now on the scout team. So he's doing his best to imitate their point guard and doing what they do and control the offense. So we're really happy to have him. We can't wait. We're just talking in the locker room about him coming back soon. And we don't know when that is, but we're just excited to have him.
Hey, one thing about Liberty, you're not gonna have no cussing on the court, you know.
Yeah, it may be a little different of a game with that.
Oh yeah.
And a game like this, you guys, are you aware of the margin of victory and the impact it has on net rankings?
We've talked about it before with Coach Grant, but it's hard to focus on that with a team as talented as them. We talked about a couple games ago, they were just down 20 with 3 minutes left and they cut it to a single digit close game. So we were just trying to play the game we played from the start of the whole game.
Jordan, you said we haven't gotten near reaching our ceiling or something. Where's the areas where you see you can rise up even more?
Yeah, I think defensively, that's always going to be one of our strengths. I think we can still get better. I think we could trust each other more than we already do, and that just comes with practicing every day and learning each other and that kind of thing. And then offensively, if we're hitting shots and we're playing defense the way we could play, it's going to be a tough night for whoever we got.
We good?
I got a question. I never asked questions. Jordan,
Yes, ma'am.
when you went down that last time, there was 1 or 2 technicals, and you popped up like you was going to take somebody out. What happened?
Yeah. Well, what happened was I got fouled in the middle of the court, and then someone on their team decided to play after the whistle and kind of bumped me a little bit, so I fell down. And my immediate reaction was to get up as quick as I can. And then I saw Key's face, and I decided that was not going to be a good idea to get any closer, and I moved away.
Shane had your back. I think one of the managers on the back or whatever.
Yeah, you got to hold Shane back.
Yeah, I don't like when people just pick on my teammates. I know Dirk, he don't get picked on, but like they was playing after the whistle, and I ain't like that. So yeah.
Yep.
I appreciate y'all.
Yep. Yeah, just pop out right here.
Yes. Thank you. How we doing? Good. We starting or are we waiting?
We'll start with an opening statement.
Okay. Well, proud of our guys. I thought it was a great effort tonight. The thing that I've challenged our group with is to try to put together 2 halves of playing to a standard. And I thought tonight we were able to move closer toward being able to do that. I thought, the understanding that this team coming in, obviously, you look at their record, the record doesn't indicate, what they're capable of. Talking about a team that's averaging over 85 points a game, that's got a 54% three-point rate with a variety of different guys that could shoot the three. A team that was turning people over, at a rate that's top 10 in the country, and creating offense out of that. And then also, with their length and size and physicality, really imposing their will on the glass. I thought, we saw some of that in the first half where, they were able to get multiple second shots. But I thought overall our guys did a really good job of competing, being able to get out in transition, either off missed shots or turnovers that we created, and to be able to build a lead Basketball is always going to be a game of runs, you know, and they made a couple of runs there in the first half. I think went back and forth there a little bit early in the second half, but our guys were able to build a lead and sustain the lead. And so I think it was overall a pretty good team win for us.
Did you get any advice from Frank Martin about this game? They just played UMass a couple games ago.
Talked to Frank, you know, and obviously they you know, had a great win. I think Frank has had a really good week. He beat, I think, Boston College the game before that, maybe a couple days before that, and to turn around on a short turnaround and be able to do that. Obviously, they're not in our league anymore, but obviously, you know Frank and I's history. So I did speak to him, and you know, the things that we talked about were more of, you know, stuff that you knew, just the speed that they play with, the physicality that they play with, and the need to be able to control some of that.
A lot can be made about, obviously, the way that the team played physically today, but it seemed what stood out was their ability to stay even-keeled in the face of a lot of extracurricular thrown their way. Just what impressed you about?
Yeah, I was proud of our group for being able to do that. Obviously, you know, we knew coming in, you know, that this is a team that, you know, was going to come in, you know, with a chip on their shoulder, not feeling good about the outcomes that they've had the last few games, and somewhat playing from a desperate standpoint, right? And so whatever that brought, we needed to be prepared for that, you know, whether it was verbal or physical or however it was. At the end of the day, the most important thing was, you know, the scoreboard. And, you know, we were determined to let that dictate, you know, everything that we did.
How much are free throws a part of your daily routine, shooting free throws in practice?
I wouldn't say it's a big part. I mean, I think we had was it last game, or was it last game we didn't shoot the ball very well from the free throw line? I think it was last game, maybe first half. We had a really tough shooting night from the free throw line. A couple of days ago, you know, we had the group, you know, maybe shoot some extra ones, but for the most part, over the course of practice, we have a routine that we'll typically do with the guys where they're continuously going to the line. And what we ask them to do is try to make it as game-like as possible, to put themselves in game situations so that when they get out in the game, it's nothing new. They have a routine and they stick to that routine.
Anthony, you've been around a long time. Have you seen 5 guys on one team foul out in a game? That's unreal and unheard of, really.
I mean, that's basketball. I think, you know, like I said, you know, I think for them, they wanted to play a physical style on both sides of the ball, right? Like we had an emphasis to try to limit the threes that they took. How many threes did they get up today? 27. They came in averaging about 37, right? So we wanted to try to limit that, and so they were the counter to that is try to get downhill, right? And so it made it a little bit more physical, right? And the way they attack the glass, right? And then when you can create, you know, 24% of your opponent's possessions that you turn them over, you know, you're going to be aggressive. You're going to take chances. So, you know, that's a part of it. We're grateful that the fouls were called. I felt, you know, not all of them were called, you know, but yeah, I mean, we try to control what we can control.
You ever worried in a game like that one of you guys is just going to end up with some kind of cheap foul, break some nose, does something just as little?
Yeah, I mean, I think the refs, you know, they try to do as good a job as they can to protect guys, to make sure that there's no unnecessary stuff, there's no injuries. I thought, you know, it got chippy, with no doubt about it. It got chippy, and you always want to protect your guys. So I was very vocal, you know, with the officials in terms of making sure that we understood that, and what potentially was at stake if they didn't, you know, get it under control a little bit more. I thought they tried to do that.
How nice was it to see Javon get back on track in the second half?
I mean, I don't think Javon's ever really been off track. I think, obviously, you know, shooting, sometimes they go in, sometimes they go in. My main thing is just take good shots. Javon's a really good shooter. I think he's proven that. You know, I think he's proven what he's capable of. And, you know, I thought in the first half he got some really good looks that didn't go in for him, you know, and so it's about staying confident and consistent with what he did. He took, you know, some good ones. He got it going a little bit in the second half that opened things up for us. We believe in him, You know, we trust him with what he's out there doing. And so, you know, he didn't have a great shooting night tonight. You know, he was able to get to the line, diversify it, you know, and the ones he made were big. And, you know, like I said, we know what he's capable of.
The importance of pacing, coming off the game last Saturday, you have a game to look forward to this Saturday. What are you seeing in terms of how the guys are being able to pace themselves and making sure they don't get too fatigued before end of the game?
Well, I think right now it's critical because athletes are creatures of habits, right? And you get into a routine, and the routine now is disruptive with school being out, you know, and so now it's a different routine for them. So the main challenge right now is to be able to manage their time over the next few days well, right? We've got a 12:30 game, I believe, on Saturday, right? So these next few days will be critical in terms of them making sure they're getting their rest, eating, doing all the things that will have them as prepared as possible on Saturday. Some of that is on us, but a big chunk of it now with no class, you know, no routine is on them to have a level of maturity and to make sure that our energy and our focus and everything is as good as it can be for Saturday.
What have you seen out of Sean in practice? Sounds like he's been running the scout team.
Yeah, it's mostly that, you know, and we're trying to get him up to speed with, you know, what we're doing. You know, because it's game prep stuff, we really haven't had a chance to do much. You know, I think what was it? What's today? Tuesday. We played Saturday, so it's kind of a quick turnaround in terms of prep stuff. So hopefully over the next, you know, few days, few weeks, you know, it's a system. He's a veteran in terms of having played basketball, so it's probably more terminology, right? And understanding this is what we call it here, right? This is what we're trying to do. That'll be, you know, new for him, and I think these next few days here will hopefully, you know, tell us a little bit more.
What's the earliest he could play in a game for you? You know,
Saturday.
Saturday would be okay. You guys have to adjust the roster to make room for him. How does that work?
Mhm.
No.
Have you got any early returns on just how quick he's picking stuff up?
No, I mean, like I said, I mean, most of what we've done has been, you know, prep for our next opponent up to this point. So.
Is there anything new on Adam? He wasn't on the bench today.
No. I mean, finals just ended, and so he was able to get home to try to take care of some things at home. We're still waiting, you know, just to see what the NCAA will decide or what happens. Okay, guys. Thanks.